Welcome back to MSI 2025 as we are heading on to game number 3 here between BLG and MKOI. The script has been flipped a little bit here as the other Western teams won game 1, then lost the next 3. Now,
it's looking like a team is going to lose game 1 and then get swept the next 3, right?
So you just want the pattern to continue here.
I would love the pattern to continue. We'll see if it does as we jump into our next draft. This time, BLG will get their hands on the blue side. Now, I will say that KOI's approach of removing both the Annie and the Ahri, limiting Knight's pool as much as they can, seems to be a pretty effective strategy. His Victor by no means was bad, but the level of impact on game 1 compared to game 2, you could really feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do think that MKOI really did a good job of kind of like ratcheting up the pace at which they were playing it, right? They really did accelerate how they were playing. When you look at game 1, it was MKOI trying to sit back and trying to scale and trying to just kind of avoid fights. And BLG were saying, no, like we are going to force you to fight us. We are going to come and take everything from you if you do not. And it felt like MKOI could not match that pace. Game 2, we come in here. Alvaro is everywhere contesting on, and constantly we saw Elyoya as well as Jojo picking off Ben in the side lanes, putting pressure on him. It was them that were really dictating the pace of the game and looking very, very good while doing it.
Trundle.
Talia is up and had been banned out, every time. Talia and Vi both up and available because BLG had been on red side. Exactly. They're trying to force that ban. And so you're going to have to pick which do you not want to play against. And I think, with the Talia getting banned out, it could easily be a Vi first pick here for BLG if they want to go that route.
Ooh, I wonder if KOI will actually just take the Ahri away, but then I think BLG can respond with the Syndra.
Yeah.
So I think that it could be a bit of a risk. I'm curious as to how KOI will respond, because when we talk about Jojo's pool, like Ahri is one of his favorite picks. It's something that he played a huge amount throughout spring. And Elyoya has a lot of junglers that can enable it, but you've got to remember, Xin, Wukong, Panth, and Vi now all out of the table. And Knight has the pick of the litter with both his Sylas and potentially a Syndra that he could lean towards to give him a good matchup.
Absolutely. And I mean, they ban out the Trundle, which can be a difficult matchup. It is going to be Knight, Sylas here getting locked in. I do like the Ezreal for Supa. When you see Vi, Dive is going to be drafted alongside it. It's also a good takeaway there from Elk. And Bin is just going to slam down a Sion top lane here and dare Mirwin to try to do something about it. And now we have to see, do they want to match top lane here, or are they going to go for a different angle and try to match what we see in the jungle already?
I have to imagine that they're going to go towards the jungle match. They're not.
That now jungle could really get pinched.
Yeah. I mean, Elyoya, what I'll say about KOI is I think so many of these players do have a very deep pool. We've seen Elyoya play all sorts of things in the jungle.
Nefiri Ahri, I think, can be absolutely fine.
Could also be completely fine. Yeah, we've also seen things like Poppy is still available, for example. It's a very good matchup, especially with both the Sylas and a Vi on the other side. But I'm surprised that they wouldn't want to prioritize that. Instead, they wanted to make sure that they can get a pretty good matchup on the top side of the map going into the Sion.
Also really interested to see how high priority goes on Nautilus. That is the last of the kind of like hard engaged melee support champions that is up and available. The big 4 have already been played through these first 2 games. Nico, another one that you were talking about as far as being a good engaged tool here. But clearly, thus far, BLG more concerned about poke pairings with the Ezreal, which are obviously very common.
That's true. That's a very good point. Actually, kind of what direction do you even go when paired alongside an Ezreal now?
I mean, you could still go towards Nico, I think. I do think Nautilus still works. I think you can go a lot of different routes. I also think that, if BLG is showing a lot of dive as they are, then things like Renata really do skyrocket in value. The question is, are you going to be able to find hard engage from your jungle pick? Or do you need to get it from your support? Because right now, there is no hard engage. There's just, Jojo ulting forward and trying to charm someone. And that is not going to be super reliable. So I wouldn't be shocked to just see something like the Nautilus, unless they have kind of a pocket jungle pick that they think is going to do enough as far as the engage is concerned.
Well, we're just waiting to see what they decide to lock in. The timer is running out. And it is going to be the Nautilus.
They just need engage. I mean, I think it's not what they want for maybe their 2v2 or their matchup, but they're thinking compositionally, how are we going to play this game out?
I do really think they wanted the Braum, and I think it was a great ban coming through from BLG. Oh, and the Caitlyn, is it Caitlyn Lux?
Could be Caitlyn Nico, or, oh.
Renata, also very good.
I think Caitlyn Nico makes a lot of sense. Renata, to me, it's like, they have enough poke that, okay. Yep. So it is going to be the more aggressive option. Not taking the Nico, it is going to be Kate Elise here. You hit a cocoon, the trap follows it up. There's an incredible amount of burst. The amount of upfront damage that comes, from that headshot, from that Caitlyn, is going to get people low for the Elise to potentially finish you off.
Also, don't be surprised to see BLG swap early. Even though this can be a hyper-oppressive matchup, they're completely fine moving the Caitlyn and Elise into an Aatrox lane and having their Scion play the 1 versus 2 into an Ezreal.
The Fury makes a lot of sense to me. It is one of the comfortable picks here for Aoya. Obviously, had not played Lee Sin yet. This split wasn't really expecting it. So it is going to be Neferi. They are going towards comfort there. They have the engage secured here with the Nautilus. The question is, how will this bot lane go? I think a lot of BLG's success is going to be riding on how Elk and On perform in this 2v2. It's just hard to get value on the Elise later on in the game if you don't create good early advantages. I mean, Nautilus is going to show up, is going to press R on someone, is going to get something done. Whereas Elise, it is very difficult, to try to fish through Nautilus and the Aatrox for cocoons. If you're behind, you have to really create that advantage. So we'll see if they're going to be able to do it.
What we've seen BLG be effective at is their bot lane 2 versus 2. I think that Elkanon in the straight up laning phase have gotten the better of Super and Alvaro. Where I think Alvaro has stood out is, you highlighted it after game 1, the engages that he was making on that Alistar, even when he was getting caught out, were super impressive. In game 2, he found some great well engages as well, working very nicely with his team to collapse and find picks. And now in game 3, I think it's going to be that support battle once more. They have been non-stop contesting vision. They have been doing a great job for their teams in terms of controlling the map, and they're a key piece of what sets up the team fights for their teams.
Absolutely are. Also have to talk about Knight on this Sylas. It is one of his most played all time. 52 games on it, nearly a 79% win rate on the champion. Now, he does have good win rates on a lot of champions, but that doesn't make it any less terrifying, I will say.
But I will say that, when we think of Knight as a player, Sylas is Victor, I don't associate with Knight. No. Sylas, I definitely do.
Syndra, Ahri, Sylas, these kind of champions, I really do think about him playing. And you can see they wanted to get aggressive here. Knight moves down, and now they're going to try to look for a bit of a wraparound as Supa maybe forced to actually start Arcane Shift and is going to be forced to do that on, try to get some more damage down, and they force out the flash. The Abscond of Duck came through from Knight and does get that down. So this is tough now for Supa. He's going to be starting E level 1 with no flash. And that means also, guess what, Alvaro, it's no longer your jungle. You have got to get out of there as well. Yoya moving over to try to contest here, but as the minions spawn, Alvaro loses basically all of his health. So now this bot side is truly BLG's, and we'll see what they can try to do with that control. On the other side, Beishuan getting a ward over on Raptors. Alvaro just going to have to go back to base. Will arrive a little bit late, might miss a bit of experience, and this is a pretty scary situation here for Supa and the MKOI bot lane.
I completely love this aggression from BLG. The way in which they just stormed into the enemy jungle with absolutely zero hesitation, knowing that Koi wouldn't be in a position to contest them, and now they've set up this bot lane 2v2 perfectly, with no way for Supa to last hit the minions, with On just denying him that experience. Koi find themselves on the back foot right from the level 1.
And remember, Supa is not playing Cleanse. He is playing the barrier instead, and On has been fantastic so far in this tournament. Get a little bit of chunk down. He was stellar with his engages and plans.
He certainly was. He has been, excuse my pun, on point with those engages. And throughout plans, we saw him find so many really amazing plays. And already here in this game, he's off to an incredible start.
Oh, they're actually looking for the dive here already. And I think they might be able to get it. First blood in the 2v2, a straight up dive onto the Nautilus.
Beautiful, just beautiful play from the BLG bot lane. Alvaro didn't get a chance to move. 100-0, they secure an advantage.
And Knight going back in here, hits the Abscond Abduct, and the charm goes wide there from JoJo. Nice sidestep by Knight. Makes it so it's a bit more of an even trade, but that was really confident, to say the least. I mean, On goes for a cocoon flash under the enemy tower here at level 2.
Absolutely crazy.
Makes it work. They know their limits.
Was extremely well played, and now On, he's not going to slow down. This is what you need to do on the Elise. Be active on the map. Has the cocoon.
Repels in, but he hit the cocoon, and JoJo forced to flash out of there. Even with the charm coming through, it's so hard to get that out before he can actually get that cocoon down. Really great play from On already, making such a difference.
And the timing on the swap is fantastic as well, because they're going to arrive on the top side of the map. The wave is bouncing back towards them. Bin can just TP back to bot lane, and he can go and catch that wave. And again, you'll notice the wave state. This is why it's super awkward for Mirwin, because now he's just going to get zoned away from this farm. On can create a freeze, and this matchup that's supposed to be favorable for the Aatrox is just going to be very difficult.
Yep, it's favorable against the Sion, not against 1v2 here against this bot lane. And Sion, notoriously one of, if not the best at playing weak side, so he's going to go down towards that bot lane and be incredibly difficult to punish here. Mirwin just trying to stay in experience range. And
yep, it's perfectly done by BLG. This early game has gone exactly the way that they wanted to. You have to swap back. You need to get the bot lane 2 versus 2 back into this matchup. The TP is available for Mirwin. I don't know if he'll commit it on the bot side of the map. Alvaro looking for a play in mid.
He does have his flash available, no ignite up.
Oh, I guess the level 3. That's what he was fishing for.
He's going to be able to get that level 3 now. And the call was purchased by Elk as he got it off of that early first blood here. So he is going to be scaling, and he's going to be a problem on this Caitlyn. If MKOI can't do anything to slow him down. Elyoya and Alvaro moving up towards this top side, though, will get eyes here onto Beishuan. They spot him, and Beishuan's going to be behind his bot lane, making sure that there's no angle for a dive.
Wave state still very good for Elkanon. Jungler now making their presence known.
Beishuan here is going to look. Remember, no flash available on Supa. Can they find the angle? Q flash, of course he hits it. The ignite is there as well. The cocoon, though, blocked by Alvaro. Beautifully done by the Nautilus, but can he get away now? He's in trouble. Flashes out to safety. Elyoya arrived, trying to take down Beishuan. Beishuan in a lot of trouble, but Elk pushing back the MKOI jungler. Well handled, though, by Supa and Alvaro to get out alive.
Good patience from Alvaro and Supa. Supa has to invest the barrier very early, but Alvaro, he body blocks the cocoon to make sure that his AD carry can get away to safety. I thought that Elyoya actually had a kill angle there onto Beishuan, but he decides not to overextend and instead chooses to retreat. Good damage comes through from JoJo in the mid lane matchup. No TP available on Knight. JoJo going to try and interrupt the back? No. Going to allow it to come through. We'll be able to get a push off and a quick back to base. A lot of farm is going to be lost here by Knight. So at the very least for Koi, the mid lane matchup is going well. But meanwhile on the weak side, Bin, he has a nice farm advantage. In the 2 versus 2, Alkanon have a huge lead. Everything going the way of BLG here in this early game.
This is JoJo's second split here, in the LEC. He's the first import to EU from NA. Definitely, really leveled up in that second split. In NA was famous for his laning phase, and I think that started to really shine through in the second split and in playoffs. And we can see here again, making the most of this range versus melee matchup. He'll collect the CS, and he'll be back again about 2 full waves overnight.
Decided to go for the early Oblivion Orb to try and help mitigate some of that healing that will come through on the Sylas as more damage is being experienced by the MKOI bottom lane. I mean, we go back to the draft. You talked about how Elise is a champion that falls off much later into the game, and it's true. In the team fight, she can lock down a single target. Locking down that target becomes very difficult, but On is doing everything that he's supposed to in this early game. Very active on the map. He's finding early kills for his team, and now they're threatening a dive. Remember, Elise, fantastic for diving. Back when she was a jungler, that was her biggest strength in the tower dive meta, just because of her ability to reset that tower aggro.
And Beishuan came up there, and he hit 6 by soaking some of that experience. So now has that additional power of the level 6 ultimate unlocked here. And they have their own Ahri Vi with the stolen Ahri ult here on Knight. So definitely going to have to be careful there around the mid lane, and Elyoya knows it. He is hovering here, trying to soak some experience and see if he can get his own level 6. Is Knight going to go aggressive? Will get Charm. And nice sidestep there from JoJo, but the stolen ulti is going to be used. Elyoya, though, here to try to push Knight back, and Knight will have to retreat back to the tower. They don't get the ultimate off of JoJo, so still will have that critical playmaking tool.
Bit of an experience advantage for Knight, even though he finds himself so far behind in terms of farm. This matchup definitely not going the way that Mirwin wants. Of course, it's still relatively early on in the matchup. Sion is a beefy guy. It should get better as the game continues. But that is quite the CS discrepancy that's being built in the 1v1. Yeah,
and one of the key things is that Mirwin hasn't gotten back to base again, because Bin got the push and then he ulted back to lane. So you can see the buy obviously much better there for Bin. Does have 1,200 plus combat stats, gold worth of combat stats after that D shield, where it's just the longsword on the other side. So, expected that Mirwin would be getting bullied from that spot, but good job by Bin to get priority, to get push, and to be able to get that advantageous buy that is taking away a lot of the point of power here from MKOI, and BLG are immediately over to these grubs. It looks like MKOI are moving down, but I'm not sure if they're actually going to fully commit to a contest. First grub is already gone, and I think they're just going to have to give it up.
I like what Elyoya is doing, though. Look, he's shadowing the lane. I wonder if he's going to try for a lane gank, if he can sneak in behind. Still the fog of war. Doesn't want to get spotted out by any minions.
Yeah, it is always a bit risky here because Elyoya is in the area, but Beichuan is here as well. On in the lot of trouble, repels in and just gets blown up. Teleport coming in as well from Jojo. They want to continue the chase. In goes Elyoya, getting Elk low. Ooh. Elk should be able to back off and survive. A great play there, though, from MKOI. Their jungler was waiting. Bin, though, on the bot side, looking here for more. Mirwin will have to base, and finally, we'll be able to get another buy.
So they move the Ahri into top lane. I wonder if Jojo just wanted to be ready for the play, but having him on the top side of the map to catch this wave, get himself a play, I think is a completely fine play. Look at how much of an advantage he has built independently over Knight.
Huge.
The TP response is going to come through from Knight, going to be able to sidestep the charm there, but now they can get their AD carry into the mid lane in that shorter lane. It's much safer for Super and Alvaro, but it also opens Alvaro up to start roaming. Now, of course, the truth is that the same is true for On, who's already out on the map, getting some deep vision down onto MKOI's bot side of the map. Mirwin needs to be careful here. He should be aware that he's on the weak side.
Yeah, On hit the vision plant. Even though it didn't go towards him, they likely noticed it. And we'll see if they can put that pressure on. Alvaro moving down here, wants to be in the area to cover, and Mirwin is being respectful, seeing the BLG bot lane duo down here. Nice little trap connects, though, onto Mirwin, and he will lose some of his health as a result. The plates being farmed away by this BLG duo. But the advantage, honestly, all things considered, not that big. It is just 300 gold for Elk over Supa. And when you consider how the level 1 went, losing your flash, starting E, your support gets dove at level 1, they're very close here.
Again, though, BLG, it's the same has been true in every single game now. First Dragon, first Grubs. MKOI not been in the best positions to really contest these objectives. It's not the end of the world. They'll still have ways to fight back later on into the game. But I quite like what BLG have done by sending Bin into this mid lane matchup. Again, Sion, very effective on the weak side, playing in the 2 versus 1, whereas Mirwin is getting bullied quite a lot. Still a ways away from his first item. But,
Alvaro going to flash forward here. Does connect the hook onto On, but no one's even near you.
That was an ambitious flash.
That was, he got to discern some dominance.
I guess he was aware that Elyoya had his ulti available.
Knight looking here onto Jojo. Jojo has popped the flash and interrupted the Iskana Duck with his charm. He wants to go for more. Tries to get some healing back. Knight backing it out. Jojo waiting for his cooldowns. But Bin is missing from mid lane, and he knows it. He has got to be careful. Realizing that Knight could have backup, Jojo decides not to go for more.
Great awareness from Jojo. He's been playing exceptionally well in the 1v1, but now he's exposed to a dive.
The whole squad is here. Q flash, ulti to follow. He's going to get knocked up and knocked down. Knight even grabs it with the explosion off the Q. Nice play from BLG, rotating up and helping out Knight. And just like that, gold lane completely gone for Jojo.
It's that classic of, bro, why don't you play safe? You know, my man is sitting underneath his tower. He has his flash available. He even gets it off, but it's still not enough to get him away to safety. A good collapse comes through from BLG. They found a really nice window where Elyoya couldn't be in a position to respond. And now that lead that Jojo had built, it disappears.
Yeah, and that is so frustrating to be in that situation. You're slowly building this incremental advantage over 10 minutes of laning, and then one good play from BLG, and it is just gone. Bin definitely going to be a bit of a problem here. This guy is getting incredibly tanky. And Beichuan now level 9 on the Vi. Has had the Sundered Sky here for a bit. But Knight is going to be able to finish that Rocket Belt. And BLG are starting to hit all of their 1-item power spikes, looking like they are in a really good spot, as Bin is just going to be ulting back out to mid lane to cover, while BLG attack this bot lane tower, looking for first turret of the game here. Try to move that much closer to Feats.
Just really nice lane assignments from BLG overall. They're going to secure the first tower of the game. They can catch the mid wave. Bin TPs to top to catch that wave as well. KOI just have no response on the map. Yeah, this early game is just sheer domination that playing around this Caitlyn very well, and what felt like a small lead before is now quickly ballooning into a big one. 1.9k the gold lead, and Elk even had the audacity to watch that wave die in front of that tower, just to deny that extra bit of farm. That is a 1.2k individual gold lead for Elk over Super.
It was like a minute ago, it was 300.
Yep.
It is crazy. They're playing the map very, very well. Credit to Bin, was mid lane, roams top, makes a dive happen, ults back mid, covers there from Supa, TP's top, covers the push from Mirwin. He is everywhere right now and really playing his role well. MKOI did the right thing. They wanted to try to go for plates elsewhere. They're saying, okay, you're gonna commit 3-4 bot. We're just gonna push the other 2 lanes and we're gonna farm plates there. But Bin single-handedly defended the push in multiple lanes.
And now look at Knight. He has a level up over JoJo. He also he's ahead in gold as well. What was a matchup that JoJo was simply dominating. With the Rocket Belt completed, and this is the downside of going for the early Oblivion Orb, it does delay that first item spike as well. That 800 gold investment does slow you down. So Knight in a great position, and with the Herald spawning in a minute's time, the Dragon in a minute and a half, BLG, they're in a much better position when it comes to being ready for a fight.
And we'll see if they are going to be able to push that advantage even further. You already know they're going to be showing up to Herald. They do it every single time, it feels like. Elkanon moving in, trying to get some more information. More than double the gold there, just about double, I should say. And the gold for BLG as far as the plates are concerned. And they have really gotten that payoff that they wanted from the Caitlyn as well as the Elise. They've been aggressive. They've been attacking towers. The bot lane turret already gone. Mid lane tower now down to about half. And the Caitlyn uses these grubs so incredibly well.
Looking at the minimap right now, you see once again on pairing up with Beishuan. Going to clear out those raptors and start getting some vision control. JoJo, nice trades.
Again, but Knight is just getting aggressive. Elyoya is in the area, but they're not sure where Beishuan is, and they don't want to force the issue. JoJo definitely took the bad end of that trade, so Knight is going to be happy with the advantage that he gets. Elkanon continuing to play for Prio here in mid, while Bin is up there on top side, fighting with Mirwin.
Let's have the Sun and Sky completed. Should make the trades a little bit better for him. On. Will connect the cocoon, but obviously,
Nice repel there to avoid the hook coming through from Alvaro. Both objectives are now spawned, so there is a potential to try to cross-map, look for trades here. If MKOI don't want to take the fight, Supa getting a nice little chunk down onto On. As you can see, Bin already moving down over towards that Herald. Beishuan moving up in the area. If Mirwin is not careful, he could get jumped on, but Alvaro and Elyoya are aware of it and are moving in to clear out vision once again.
I think the scariest thing for Koi is the fact that Knight has way more control over the side lane, and it's such a good TP flank.
Oh, the cocoon flash comes through, and there's the Q flash as well from Alvaro. Alvaro is going to be going down in the hurry, tries to turn it around, but can't find much of anything. BLG pull the trigger, make the play happen. Elyoya's got to get out of there, is going to be trying to be knocked up by Bin, but will be able to go immune and jump over the wall, get back to safety, but just like that, commit some flashes, commit the TP, win the fight before it really even starts.
But we were just talking about how the scariest part about this was that Knight has way more control on the side lane now. Like, he had such a deep push on that bot side of the map, meant that he had way more time to make this play happen, and he wasn't really necessary to make the kill happen, but that fight could have ended so much worse for Koi. They're lucky that it was only a single kill. BLG secure the feats of warfare once again. They're going to secure the mid lane tower. And now the TP response.
Now, JoJo going to be trying to look. MKOI, can they find a great sidestep there from Beishuan, but he's going to be locked up. He's going to be charmed up as well, as Elk is going to be eating that Nautilus ultimate. Beishuan trying to turn around, but he's going to get shut down there by Elyoya. Great play from MKOI. Battling back, getting a pick here. But it's still BLG pushing the map. Look at Knight, not going to respond to the play. He has no TP, so he's just going to push out bot side. And the question is, can BLG still look to contest at these objectives? MKOI doesn't have the confidence to start up the Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, the HP is low, the ultis are unavailable. It's a risky play to make, and they need to catch that bot wave because Knight is a full level over JoJo, and he's continuing to grow that lead. Knight is hovering. I don't think he has any real kill threat, but I think he can be cheeky. Steal. Oh, the Gromp going to give away his position.
He's going to be spotted there. Steals away the Neferi ultimate, so he's going to have that ability to dive into the backline now.
I will say that because Koi staying on the map, they actually haven't reset after finding that pick in mid, means it's now basically impossible for them to contest this Dragon. They need to go back to base, spend some of the gold that they picked up, and it's going to be another advantage gain for BLG. Just sheer domination from BLG so far in this early game. 2 towers in their favor, every objective secured, the kills and the lead. And the small advantage that Jojo had disappeared off a single play that happened on the top side of the map, and now it's Knight who runs the side lane.
Yeah, exactly. It's very difficult. Jojo finally now has his first item. The Malignance is done there, as he does level up to 12, but still Knight most of the way to 13. It is going to be working in towards that second item. Potentially that Riftmaker coming through here, as Knight just constantly fishing in these side lanes, looking to see if anyone will overextend, if there's an angle for a pick, trying to put that pressure on. And sometimes the fact that he's just stepping out of vision like this is making it so hard for MKOI, because if you don't know where he is, you can't actually step up, you can't farm these waves. You always have to pay respect to the fact that Knight could be in the area.
He's going to choose to reset for now. I wonder if he's actually got another upgrade available to him. Oh. Okay, he's going to get the Fiendish Codex. Nice little pickup there. A bit more CDR available. But ultimately, the game will slow down now. There's no real objective to play for. BLG will likely set their sights on the top tower. They'll use the Caitlyn mid lane, get that push, and then they can start rotating into the top side jungle. Alvaro's doing a good job of clearing out what Vision On is trying to put down, but BLG, their objective is clear, and they're looking for a pick right now.
Yeah, they want Mirwin. Elyoya is in the area. We'll see if they can try to turn it around. On looking here for the Cocoon. He's going to be able to follow it up beautifully, layering to CC. BLG knocking down MKOI's top laner.
I mean, that's just a misplay from Mirwin. That the objective feels obvious on the map of what BLG is looking to play for. That top tower is the only objective they really can play for. And so he, in his attempt to clear out the wave, he gets picked off. BLG find themselves another pick. Continue to grow the leads.
MKOI looking, though, trying to get some vision back on this top side, but again, it's going to be Bin unanswered in the bot lane. This has been the story. BLG just playing the map in this game, constantly pushing out, forcing the response here from MKOI, and building these incremental advantages slowly but surely here throughout these last 20 minutes of the game. They have the first two dragons. It is going to be Infernal Soul that is up and available, and they have quite a high burst, high damage composition already. That would make it very difficult for MKOI. And Supa trying to look for some poke, but it was warded out, and Knight fishing with the Absconded Duck. Taking a pretty nice trade here onto Jojo, who is going to really get pushed back. Knight is looking for the solo kill, and he just straight up finds it. Dives under the tower, knocks down Jojo. He is not afraid whatsoever. The laning phase is over.
Knight in the side lane looks monstrous. Elyoya getting bullied out of the jungle. A tower is locked down as well. And now MKOI have a serious problem on their hands. Knight is so strong with Elk right by his side. Some serious gold advantages. The Riftmaker going to be secured. And I mean, Jojo just can't trade back at this point. In the extended fight, he steals away the Ahri ultimate. He chases him down. He connects the stun underneath the tower, and the tower just can't do enough damage. That reaction is appropriate.
Oh, yeah. It's like, you could do that?
Oh, wow.
Yep, see, there you go. I mean, Jojo just realizing that's the position he is now in. Knight just went so aggressive, and Jojo didn't want to just use the ult really early to try to retreat. And by the time he popped it, Knight was just in on top of him with the stolen ultimate, kept that pressure going. Jojo in the area, but down 2 levels now. Elyoya is here, as is Supa. They may try to overload a side lane, see if they can find a play. They're going to spot out the Otacon. On and Beishuan in the area here, but again, Bin not being answered right now in the bot lane. As BLG just continue the full court press, constantly pushing up all of these lanes, forcing MKOI to respond to them.
MKOI just can't get near the towers right now.
Nice repel, but can they pile in? Not going to be able to find it.
That was a quick repel from On. He doesn't linger around too long in the air, so he can still get away to safety. Mirwin feeling a little bit more confident in the matchup now. Trading nicely, forcing Bin back. But while we've been, you know, keeping our eyes on Knight, we did mention it earlier, Elk, still a thing. Level 13 on the Caitlyn, a lot of range available to him. But I'm just like, I'm trying to think of how Koi really win from this position, because Jojo, it just feels like this Ahri is so weak compared to Knight. Level 15 on the Silas, he's the highest level in the game. And I feel like that he feels unkillable, to be honest. I just feel like that Koi just don't have enough damage to deal with this Silas. He has so much HP. He also has the healing that'll come through from his W.
On positioning very aggressively here. He's just fighting back and forth, and yeah, it is going to be really tough to knock down Knight. Another dragon has spawned though. BLG going to be moving to Soul Point as MKOI want nothing to do with it. They're going to see if they can just continue to farm, find some advantages elsewhere. JoJo just stays up towards that top side, but you can see already BLG pinging on towards Otacon. So they're going to try to take this dragon and then go up, and they just will never give MKOI time. It has been a theme in this series, both in Game 1 and now in Game 3. As soon as BLG get any sort of an edge, they're going to show up to every single objective, force you to fight, or just get further and further behind.
MKOI are quickly running out of options, it feels like. Super has done a good job of bouncing back into the game, but obviously the difference in gold is largely just due to all the towers and plates that were secured by Elk earlier into the game. Otacon, while an objective that is available, we've seen BLG use it as a means to force fights. Right now, though, they don't seem super enthusiastic about forcing anything in the immediate future. They're starting to shepherd,
He's going to look for the fight. He's just charging on in, but everyone is there from MKOI, and he's getting incredibly low already. The shield comes back up. He will be able to walk it out as Knight arrives in the teleport. Mirwin is behind them, but he has been spotted. Mirwin looking, can't find him with the chains, on in trouble. Death Charge going to be coming out and will connect. MKOI does have the support of BLG incredibly low, and Bin took quite a bit of damage there too, but Bin can base and teleport back. BLG staying in the area as MKOI now have their eyes on the Otacon. They are thinking twice though. They're not sure, do they want to commit to it? And now BLG saying, well, guess what? You have to commit to it now. We are not going to allow it to reset. On over the wall. If he's spotted, he is incredibly low. Base one taking some damage. Nice charm on the side, does connect in onto Bin, but it's Knight again going aggressive. It's Knight looking for more. It's Knight on a rampage. Knocks down Alvaro, and it's BLG fully controlling the area, pushing MKOI out, securing the Otacon.
Great patience from BLG. Knight, he's fishing for more. He's going to use the last tick of the Ahri ulti to try and close the gap. Elyoyo is going to be forced out of his jungle once more. Super is lying in wait. Is there really a play here? I don't think so. BLG choosing to disengage Knight. He's just doing what he can to be obnoxious. Going to stick around for an extra wave as well. He'll tick over to level 16. We look back at this play, and this is the second half of the fight. Look at the HP of JoJo. Look at the HP of Alvaro. The positioning just isn't ideal. There's not really a good way to start the fight. The flash over from On, it creates this pressure on one side, meaning that those three KOI members then can't support Alvaro, making it super easy for Knight to just pick up that kill onto the Nautilus and force the rest of KOI to retreat. BLG with nothing but domination here. Here in Game 3, they're at Soul Point. The Baron is alive. Otacon secured. Hook!
Oh, big hook there from Alvaro. Do they have the follow? If they do, the charm is there, as is the shutdown. Will MKOI just go to the Baron, try to flip it right here, right now? They're quite behind, and I think that's going to be the call.
How does Alvaro keep finding these engages? A beautiful hook connects onto a really important member of BLG, but Knight is still alive. The hook.
Not going to be able to connect. Knight does have to flash out there. He is level 16. Remember, BLG pulled off a 3v5 last game. Can they do it in the 4v5? Bin moving in, trying to create space. Mirwin on the side threatening. He's onto Base One. Base One getting chunked down as Knight steals the Nautilus ultimate. Bin now tanking a lot of damage here. He's going to have to try to ult out to safety. The DPS pretty low here from BLG as MKOI do keep the Baron leash. Alvaro down fairly low. Mirwin being a real thorn in the side here of BLG, and they're just going to make the call to give it up. MKOI navigate the situation beautifully off of the pick from Alvaro.
Unbelievable. Alvaro is saving the game for MKOI. We've praised this player a lot in this series. It feels like that it's been a battle of the supports for so much, and a much-needed pick happens. The ward gets cleared out. Elk, he feels safe here, and why shouldn't he? The Hex Flash comes over. The timing is perfect. The Q comes out, ruining himself, means that Alvaro is able to connect the Q, the follow-up charm from JoJo. And now, MKOI have found a lifeline. They're not in the driver's seat, but at the very least, it's closed that gap. It's brought them a little bit more tight. Yes, they are. They're catching up.
Exactly. They are accelerating, and we'll see if they can keep that pace going. Knight definitely still going to be a big problem, but that pick on Elk meant that BLG really did not have a lot of consistent damage going into that fight. It was very difficult for them to try to navigate without the Caitlyn. In here, of course, still is that brick wall, and you still have the looming threat in 40 seconds of this Soul. The question is, can MKOI, with the Baron buff, stop them from getting it?
Mirwin has been very quiet in this game, but in that last fight, he was just keeping On and Beishuan completely out of the Baron pit. And I think that his damage can't afford to be underestimated. A level 16 on...
Go looking, does connect on the charm. Super shifts forward. Rocket Belt used to dodge the hook from Alvaro.
I feel like that this Aatrox is going to become a problem. He's TPing in. The ult from Ezreal is good. The poke damage is good.
And Mirwen going to get spotted here by Beishwan. Beishwan liking his odds in this fight, does get a nice little bit of chunk, but on now. He's at the point of the game where it is very difficult as the Elites to really find those team fights. But look at that Q flash over the wall. He finds Supa, and Supa's going to get knocked down by Knight, and now Knight is running over this fight. He's looking for Elyoya. He wants more. Knight and Beishwan, they team up and knock down the AD carry of MKOI. That just might be what they needed here. They're going to get Soul off the back of it as well. As Knight goes hunting, can't find more, but what a beautiful engage from BLG.
Knight just takes the hope from Koi and crushes it. A fantastic engage comes through from the Sylas. And the Soul is secured. And the MasterCard price this moment, we're going to get to see the engage that comes through from Knight in the mid lane. He's going to steal away JoJo's ulti. And he's going to find the right target. Supa is the place to go. Oh, Beishwan sets it up. Knight with the quick follow-up. The hook comes through to try and keep him alive, but there's little that they can do to protect their AD carry.
Just when MKOI thought they had a way into the game, they get a pick, they get the Baron. You can see the frustration there on the face of the coaching staff.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Nice indeed.
They're chilling.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Beishwan. I didn't see that in the initial play, but you're right.
Beautiful Q flash.
Really, really nice engage. And you can just see, like, there was no response from Koi. They were just shut out immediately.
Yep, and you can see the damage that this mid-jungle duo put out here from BLG. They now have the Soul. The Infertile Soul going to make things that much more difficult for MKOI. Nice rocket belt forward, does knock off the verdant barrier there from JoJo. They are looking at Elyoya, trying to put some pressure on him. Knight now level 17. Massively up in experience over most of the members there of MKOI, though Mirwen is quite strong, is level 17 himself. But BLG just so confident in their positioning in this game now, they're just going to invade, stay in the face of MKOI. This is what they love to do, constantly force you into these difficult spots, and Bin is becoming harder and harder to deal with. You can see the Soul Furnace HP, over 1,300 now, passive health that he has gained from that.
BLG have a very solid front of ACK. They're setting their sights on this tier 2. And with the Caitlyn, they should be able to make quick work of the objective. They keep Bin in the mid lane, as they have done throughout this game, moving him off onto a side lane, not even using him as a front line, but just as an extra point of pressure on the map. The TP is going to go and catch the mid wave from JoJo, but significant damage is already done to the structure.
Yeah, I mean, JoJo was down in that bot lane trying to see if he could trade for a tier 1 tower. They haven't even knocked down a single tier 1 yet.
Anything in this game.
No, but
JoJo
JoJo
the Baron, I guess,
didn't have time to actually be able to knock it down. He had to defend his tier 2. Finally, it does fall to the minions, so they are going to be able to at least get 1 tower. We'll see if they can do something else. Good poke, though, on. It's Supa going to take that ultimate from Caitlyn right to the face. Down about half HP, has no lifesteal in the build just yet. And it is making it really difficult as Elk, at every opportunity, is just throwing out that ace in the hole straight at Supa.
Well, the good news for Koi is that their base is still in a healthy spot. The bad news is that every single fight seems to be going the way of BLG. With the Soul secured as well, it's just so much additional damage. The Elder could be a potential win condition for Koi. And
Back
the
again.
Magi's, of course.
Magi's the clock.
I mean, of course, it's Knight. The man loves to read, and he fills those pages with quite a few stories. The Baron spawning in 30 seconds. Forced a flash from Alvaro, and he kind of has to. The trap was laid. The damage was about to be dealt. And the pressure just continues. Top wave pushed in, mid wave pushed in. More vision in the enemy jungle. Denial, denial, denial. That is the game plan for BLG. Give them nothing, but take from them everything. And you can see our observers highlighting it for us now, how little Koi see on the map.
Oh, but they may have an angle here. Flash forward, does connect in onto On in trouble, charmed up, knocked down. Now they need more. They're trying to hunt for Elk, but he is retreating back to the tower. In comes Knight. BLG, they're looking. Depth chart thrown out there onto Knight. As you see, Beishuan in the back line. He's trying to take out Suba. Suba's got a kite for his life. He's got to run. Beishuan's in trouble now as Jojo lands a charm. It's a shutdown over onto the BLG jungler. But the BLG soul laners and Elk are still alive, and they're going aggressive. Abscond, abduct, the charm turning around, trying to take down Knight. Knight goes Scold, and he is incredibly low. Suba with the perfect timing, gets a kill back. It is bloody fight in the mid lane there. 3 for 3 at the end of the day. But Bin and Elk stand strong and push back the MKOI members.
This whole play starts with Alvaro finding another massive hook. But the end is going to be Elk breaking into the base, securing their first inhibitor of the game, and Super can do nothing about it. The immovable wall that is Bin will act as a shield. No one is going to be up. There's no crazy TP plays. He's still going to get hit by the ace in the hole. The Baron is alive. BLG, are they really going to overstay for the bot tower as well? I think this is a little bit greedy. They need to get back to base, need to get the resets off if they want to be in a position to contest the Baron.
Bill feeling confident about their ability to do so. Bin pushes in the wave there. Gotta say, Alvaro has been heroic for MKOI.
Certainly has been.
By far the standout player for the team in this series, I think. And Jojo obviously have an incredible Azir game, but Alvaro, even in the losses, has really been the one to give hope, to try to find these angles. But BLG have been stalwart. Even when someone is getting picked off, they're looking for the re-engages. They're confident in their ability to find angles to make the fights work. Knight and Bin have just been that brick wall, it feels like. And now BLG are going to be starting up the Baron. It's immediately spotted there. As Supa trying to help push Bin back. Mirwin with him. As MKOI trying to get some control here. Knight, though, level 18, has the stolen Ahri ult, and this Baron is just gone. MKOI cannot find a way in. It's an easy Baron there, and now Bin looking for the engage. Alvaro in a lot of trouble, has no flash. He's caught out, and On flashes in, hits the cocoon onto Supa. Can they find the follow-up? Knight looking to dive into the back line. He's in onto Supa. Supa's in a world of trouble. Gets out to safety, though. Great kiting out from MKOI. Supa, though, going to be hit by the ultimate from Caitlyn. Elk talks him down as Mirwin gets one back. Mirwin, though, trying to run away here. He is in a difficult position because Elk is still up and alive. MKOI fighting back as best as they possibly can, but Elder is on the map. And it's BLG with the extra member. It's BLG who are heading straight down there. And it's MKOI making the choice to just give up that Elder. They're going to TP Jojo to top lane and just go for the bounties.
The fights just continue to go the way of BLG. Bin is the one to initiate things, and he does it once again without any hesitation. Once the Baron is secured, BLG waste no time in trying to force a fight against Koi. They've done a good job of making these fights so difficult for Super to play. Jojo, it feels like that he just tickles the members of BLG. He can land some good charms, but the damage just isn't coming through. Meanwhile, Knight on the front line is just eviscerating anyone that stands in his way. He stepped a little too far, and Mirwin was able to get a nice shutdown. But now, with the Elder, BLG are looking to close out Game 3.
And we'll see if they're going to be able to do it. BLG have all the pieces to the puzzle, and they're going to look for Alvaro here. Great buffered hook to the wall, does keep him alive for now. Knight lost all the stacks in that Magi, so did have to sell it, but picks up the Shadow Flame. Good bit of poke there onto Elk, who does not have any lifesteal really in the build. So is going to still stick for quite a while. But you can see Supa, ace in the hole hits him, and he is right back to base pretty much. Has to try to sit back, heal back up with this Vamp Scepter. It's going to be up to the wave clear here, but it's not great from MKOI. And BLG, you already know they're going to be posturing aggressively here, trying to get in the face of MKOI. MKOI are just trying to buy some time as Jojo almost just gets one shot there. Down incredibly low, almost got executed by the Elder here as BLG now eyes on the Nexus towers here. First one getting incredibly low. Jojo back out from base. Mirwin fighting on the side against On. Bin creating space here for Elk. All BLG need to do is keep Elk alive and keep that man firing, and he is going to get the rest of the job done. The first Nexus tower has already fallen. BLG pushing in. Great Zonia's there from On. Is going to be able to immune it. And look at that! Elk just one-shots JoJo, and that should do it. Mirwin going forward, trying to make something happen, but he's gonna fall as well. It's BLG crushing the hopes here of MKOI. They look for the heroics in the base, but Elk will not allow it. This man 7-1-4 on the Caitlyn. It's the bot duo from BLG yelling bot dip.
A headshot to round things out as Elk snipes JoJo and brings BLG to match point. We're seeing that when BLG get a foothold in the game, it feels like that they just don't let go.